Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career, the England years with me, Daniel. It's episode 15 and today we're here to finish off our first big home test series against the Windies. It's the deciding test match and we're in our first innings with the bat, following being put into bowl the first time round. Joe Root choosing that option, batting last, may be a problem on this pitch. We already saw it progressively getting worse in our bowling innings. But there's good news on that front as well, as you can probably see from the scorecard so far here. But we come in after the West Indies have made 375. It's day 2 just before lunch and we're in pretty good shape as it stands. We were the top bowler with 2 wickets for 38. Of course you saw the first in the last episode yesterday, and we got another one. Dennis Duncan, the left-hander. He was really struggling with the wrong one, he was struggling with the top spinners, and in the end he'd edged one too many. So 2 for 38 for us, that of 14 overs, giving us just about the best economy after Miles. He was really economical but didn't threaten for a wicket. So there you go, the two of us working well together. The seamer's a bit more expensive but all getting in on the action, and Scott Borthwick got a couple as well. So we're all really pleased with how that's going and we're now into bat. So don't forget, our last batting innings 2 episodes ago finished with 145. So we are looking to follow that up with another big one to cement our place as a star in this team. So if you are looking forward to this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. If you want to make sure you're up to date with everything, subscribe down below and click back in the eye above to catch up with the series so far, as we go in to face our first ball against the Windies, and then the third test we're looking to pick up where we left off. And here we are for the first ball, reunited with our old nemesis, Orson McGee. He's bowling central and that one swung away. The first one beating the edge, not the best start to the innings. James Vince opening at the other end as England with an unchanged side as well, And we've got the TV screen up at the side, which is a bit distracting. A fielder out on the leg side, but we do get that one away. So a single to get us off strike and to make sure we still avoid the duck. And to be fair, James Vince has seen off the rest of the over. 1-4 as well, and now it's Orson Spain, the medium pacer. Just got us out the once, and that's a good LB shout. Oh, we tried to cut it too fine. Tried to be a bit clever, and it almost cost us. Let's just make sure we see it through to lunch. Only about half an hour to go. We've just got to be sensible here. There is no rush, there's been no rain delays. We don't need to worry. So there we go, glance for a single. We move on to 2 and James Vince is going to be handed the strike again. And there's every good reason for that because he is flying now. 10 off 8. McGee's back in and there's space on the leg side, but that one's wide. And it's at full length, so we're just going to get out the way and no risk to be taken. We don't need to rush the score in here. We do want to try and take advantage of these gaps mid-on and then on the leg side as well. But to be honest, if it's not the right shot, we won't play it. We've got one there just away to the mid-on region. And they've run round, but it's going to be a single, and now James Vince again can face the last 4 balls. And again, he's got 4 more runs, so you've got to be fair to him. This partnership's working well, and it's quite nice this, because we don't feel like we need to be the aggressor. We're just looking for ones like that. We're not trying to play power strokes, we've not got to risk playing outside off early on. We can just hit ones and let James Vince go, although saying that, he'll probably get out now. He hasn't, he's moved on to 18, he's doing a really good job at the other end. So let us produce an Alistair Cook style innings, a patient one, where we don't get too involved, we just leave that one as well. And Dennis Duncan, after 2 overs of McGee, is already into the attack. It's a bit of a bizarre change. I know a couple of times they do it and change the ends for McGee rather than taking him out. That one's wide as well, so we're getting in no rush here. We'll leave them outside off all day. So this is the one where we possibly take advantage. Space down the ground, a short ball, we fire it away, but it's straight at mid-off, so it's going to be a dot. But that was a chance, and the connection's good. We're still playing well. We're still connecting with the ball well. Everything's coming out the middle. We're just going to make sure we don't edge one now. There's space on the leg side, but that's wild. That's wild, it's wide, and it should be a wide from the umpire. But he lets him get away with it. We might be about to play out a maiden here. James Vince doing well when he gets the chance, but we're not letting him have it here. Duncan's last ball, full and wide, and it beats the outside edge. 5 overs gone, a maiden for West Indies, and we're 23 without loss, though James Vince has done most of that work. Another over faced and James Vince is flying. He's 24, won a ball, he's absolutely going brilliantly, and we're just waiting for the right ball to get away. So it's still Dennis Duncan flying in the deliveries outside off. 4 off 14 for us so far, a very slow start. And I keep swinging away. I don't want to get caught out by the one that swings in. but I don't want to keep flying the bat at everything, because that's where the edges get risked. There is that space at mid-on, so if we get the right ball, I feel like we might get 4. And that one probably wasn't quite it. It just skipped off the ground slightly, and we end up getting a dot ball to mid-off. Let's see if we can finally get off the mark. He's plugged the leg side here, which suggests to me he might be bowling a short one. Let's see if he does. He doesn't, it's full, but it is straight, and we managed to go through vacant mid-on. It's the long end of the ground, so it might not reach the boundary, but the fielder's got a long way to run. So we've tired him out, and we've got 3. A brilliant shot, and that takes England into the 30s. Fantastic work so far. And for us, 7 off 17 probably looks a more respectable start. James Vince with a couple of dots for once, and a straight ball from Spain there, just glanced for 1, and we're really starting to find a mojo. And that's the thing, a slightly slower start isn't a harm. And we've got to get used to that, because that's where the discipline changed. A lot of the other ones we were trying to go out the traps too quickly, and here we're being a bit more patient. James Vince on to 29. For us, we can play leg side, and that's a great shot. It beats the fielder on the leg side. Again, it's the long end of the field, so it won't go all the way, but it will be 2 this time. We're gradually getting more consistent with the run scoring, and England edging close to 50 now. We're into double figures. And here comes Orson Spain for his final ball. Again straight, again glanced away, and again beats the fielder, and this one looks to be going better. It's going all the way. Our first boundary of the day, we move on to 14, and that is a fantastic way to finish the over. Into the 9th, 1 ball, Vince gets his first single, and it's now a straight ball that we managed to get to mid-on. We've probably gone a bit too soon with that, the timing off, but we get a single, and that's what we're doing, feeding Vince the strike. 3 needed to bring up the 50 for England. But he hasn't done it. 4 dot balls, which is very unusual for him. Orson Spain comes in, and again we're just looking for that leg side glance off the full ball, and we get it. So that's going to be 1. A little bit quicker through than we needed to be, but we managed to get through. Just 2 away now. And James Vince has got there with a 4. Orson McGee is back in, and he's left that space down the ground. We're just waiting for the right delivery. A short one, we get it away, but straight to mid-off again. England going along really quickly here. Yet to lose the wicket, which is key. And now he's covered mid-on, but put space out on the leg side. So let's see what we can do off this second ball. A short one, we try to swing it away. It doesn't work out. And there's no need to risk the run there. Although we probably would have got through looking at that. And now, McGee's really tempting us. He's opened both of our favourite areas up. And he's gone full and straight, and that's down the ground. For no mid-on, that's going to be at least 2, possibly 3. Although I don't think it's quite got enough on it. It's going to be 2. No, we're going for a 3rd. It's deep enough, and we get through. 55 for England, and James Vince to finish the over. And he does so without scoring again. So James Vince just starting to get pegged back now. But that's probably because we're scoring a bit more quickly. We managed to get nearly 1 there, but it just about came back. And I tell you what, that's good fielding and backing up, because they went for the direct hit. Orson Spain in the medium pater. He's been really expensive because Vince has just been scoring runs off him galore. And he's going leg side again here. We get it away, but we don't beat that fielder. And they keep trying for the direct hit. We're now 19 off 27. It would be nice to get into the 20s. Make sure that even if we make a mistake, we keep our average up overall. That one's straight, that one's glanced, and there is the single. 20 not out, England on to 56. And it's the Orson McGee rivalry continuing. England on 60 now, James Vince getting more runs, and we timed that one absolutely awfully, but we're still going to get at least 1. Probably 2 by the looks of it. We're going to get back quite comfortably in the end. 2 runs off a bit of a shank to mid-on. And we move on to 22. Things looking nice. Again, we want to try and get to a half century at least, but this is a slower build. That one's outside off. We felt comfortable because of the pace to play through the covers, but we didn't quite get it right. So it's going to be a dot ball. And again, he tempts us with our 2 favourite areas, down the ground and to leg side. We go down the ground, we beat the fielder on the offside, and he's going to get there before the boundary. Again, it's at the long end of the ground, but it's going to be at least 2. This time we won't risk the 3rd, but a very good over so far. 4 already. And the same field persists, so unless it's a lot wider, this is going to be the same result. It's not wider, but it's not a good shot at all. The mid-off gets there and goes for the direct hit, so it's a very good job we cancelled that run. And for the final ball, it's just mid-on that's free, so that's the only area we can go for. It's straight though, it's perfectly timed, and it's probably going to be 2 or 3. Definitely 2 as we come back. How quickly can the fielder get there is the next question. Not quick enough. 3 runs, And what a finish to stay on strike. Just one more ball for Vince to face. And he just sees it off as we face Chemo Paul for the first time. Outside leg side, and that is so easy to get away. It's the short end of the ground, they've left mid on 3, and we fly it down for 4. I think just our second boundary of the day so far. A brilliant shot, and we're now catching Vince at a rate of knots. 31 off 34. And we're almost starting to feel like a one-day innings here. There's space down the ground. With this setup going over the wicket and bowling outside leg stump, it makes it so easy. And it's going to be 4 again. No one's going to get there. And this is about the easiest we've had since we started our test career. The field has changed, which makes me think the bowling line will change. It's a short ball. Oh, we got away with that. Hit the elbow, dropped down and almost onto the stumps. We've got to be careful still. England on 75, which means we trail by just 300 now. And this time we can go to leg side, which he's opened up. And it's going to be another boundary, I think. Easily gets there. And it's 12 off the over already. And after such a good containing job from the other bowlers, Chemo Paul's throwing it all away, and we can now afford to be defensive. We've overtaken James Vince despite our start, and that's going to be 4-2. What on earth is going on with Chemo Paul? His deliveries are awful. England on to 83, we're on to 43, and suddenly the half century is just a couple of shots away. They've closed that gap on the leg side again. It's full, it's down the ground, it's not timed well, but it's going to be a single to finish. We keep the strike again. And it's Orson McGee to continue as we're on 44, there's space on the leg side, it's a full delivery which played completely into our hands and it smashes to the boundary. We have scored 48, England on 88. James Vince just taking a back seat now. It's what we did earlier on and he's having to do the same. Short ball, we duck, but it still hits us on the back. A little painful one, but no harm done, particularly to our score. We've got space down the ground, space on leg side. He's opened it up. We just need one poor ball here. It's wide outside off, no risk at all. All of the gaps plugged, bar mid wicket. And again, we're just facing a little spell of dot balls. That one's fuller though, and we're going to get 2 easily here. Might even go for 4. It does. It's a half century, back to back. Last time it was an exquisite 145. This time we have 52 not out. And after being 4 off 14 deliveries, we're now on 52 off 44. So in the last 30 balls, we have scored 48 runs. That's how well we're hitting it now. McGee comes in full, and that's down the ground. Not the perfect connection. Should be 1. Might be 2. It is going to be 2. Brilliant running. Brilliant batting. England closing on 100. James Vince into the 40s. So we're going to stick it out until at least England get 100 or James Vince manages to get to his half century. Though that one's just beat the outside edge. We've got to keep that concentration. They've closed mid on now. So again, it's mid wicket we're looking at. The offside is absolutely packed, making it really difficult. But when they're bowling them straight like that, it's absolutely pointless. Barely takes a second to reach the boundary. The partnership is 100. England are on 102. And now we just have to help James Vince to his 50. Orson McGee flying in again. Has opened up the covers. Bowls outside off and full. Oh, we edge it. Thankfully, as we saw in the first innings with the ball, a lot of the edges aren't carrying. And that gives us a bit more licence. But the slower ball really got us there. He's opened up our 2 favourite areas, so we don't have to risk it this time. But not the best start. Outside off, defended away. Space on the leg side again now. 58, we're looking to get into the 60s. That one's full, that one's away, and it's an easy 4. Brilliant batting, the timing is absolutely right. Everything's coming out the middle now. And we move on to 62. England 106 for nothing. And chasing this score is going to look good. And I tell you what, we owe Joe Root an apology, because batting second seems to have worked. This one doesn't quite look like it's got enough, but it will be 2 because there's no fielder there. The fine fielder gets around and he gets it back. 2 more runs. But now we face spin for the first time, and we know what that did to our colleagues last time, so we've got to be careful. Thankfully, he just loses his line with the first ball, so we're able to get an easy single. But now we need to see what happens to Vince, because this was an issue last time. Vince stays in, gets 3 more runs, and gives us back the strike with 2 to go. So there's space down the ground to mid-off and on the leg side. But he's bowling straight, so it's easy to go leg side. It's our favourite shot, and it's easy ones. Not entertaining, but very effective. And Orson Spain is in. Vince is now just 3 away from his half century. We've got to help him get there. We need a leg side glance, really, and that'll be 1. We've timed it well, might be better than that. But in the end, the fielder's good. So just 1 run. and England moving along nicely. And there he goes, James Vince, 53 not out. The spinner's back in, 2 more balls of his over to go. There's space down the ground as it's outside off, but we've edged it. Oh, I'm so poor outside off at times. And after a really good start with Vince, we both get half centuries and we both complement each other well. It's another good innings, but that little glancing edge, and it's caught by the slip fielder. Brilliant work, and we are out for 67 off 55 after actually a pretty slow start. Bowled by Petty, caught by Hetmeyer, but another good innings in the bank for us. Joe Root, the skipper, comes in. Let's see how he does. So I think it's fair to say, given the position we left them in, 122 for 1, I lost the second wicket pretty quickly, Vince out not long after. Then there was a nice partnership with Root and Buttler. But after that, it all fell apart. There were wickets falling constantly. There weren't many great scores. I mean, George Rhodes got a half century not out at the end. A brilliant, persistent innings for him. But otherwise, disappointment lower down the order. And we're now becoming the most important man. So we got the best bowling figures for our team. And we got the highest score in the batting innings as well. And we've just about got a lead. 7 going into the second innings. But the West Indies have started well. They are 44 without loss after 9 overs. So not only have they started well, they're scoring quickly without losing. So we've been rushed in after 9 overs. And hopefully we'll be able to get things back on track. The West Indies lead by 37 of course. And they've still got those 10 wickets in hand. And we're becoming the key man. So can we do the job? We're going to bowl through this innings, and next time we know we'll be back with the bat for the deciding innings of the test match, and we're going to be showing that live. So if you enjoyed this one and you're looking forward to that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM20 content, 2 episodes a week from this series, including the next one which will be back in 3 days time. Saturday lunchtime, 1 PM, we will be back with the deciding innings of this test match, and we're going to need to be a hero, let me tell you that. Thank you again for your incredible support on this channel and over on the podcast too. And for those that came and checked out the live stream yesterday, I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time for another big innings. As next time round, we don't just look to be a match winner, but a series winner as well.